More than 3 decades of neglect have covered the old mansion in dust and mystery where we find ourselves today. Anchored in an impressive landscape, it's hard to believe that it is in complete abandonment. Again, death is the cause of this mansion's forgetfulness, because in one of the rooms we find a dozen chairs surrounding the bed, in which decades ago they mourned the loss of a loved one. For several years, the heirs tried to sell the mansion, but the rehabilitation costs exceeded the cost of the mansion itself, making its purchase unfeasible. Join me in exploring every corner of the mansion, trying to uncover all the secrets it holds. Of course, let's start with the main entrance and see what kind of foyer they had. With the beautiful piano, and right as you enter the house, you saw the piano. Look at those shoes. Probably leather. And the beautiful piano. It's a shame it's deteriorating so much. It must have been abandoned for many years. And the humidity and everything wreaks havoc on the wood. Look at all the paper. How it has been falling. And we're going to move to this room. Beautiful. We also have to be careful with the floor. We have more than one hole. Look, there they had like a kind of desk, and here another one. So it could be used as a meeting room or something similar. Look at that huge mirror. You can tell this place is deteriorated, but due to the passage of time, not because someone came to destroy it. What a board! To play with wooden gems? This seems like it's for ironing on top, like a mini ironing board. It has a lot of decay.
And here we go out.
Back to the hallway again. And I think this would be where they ate, or one of the places where they ate. Look at all the beautiful wooden furniture. And an old fireplace. Look at the details of the furniture and the handles. It's a head like an owl or something like that. I think this was some kind of workshop to keep up the castle for maintenance tasks. The castle also has a vast land extension. An old padlock. And here they had what looks like a cellar. Look, how curious that they had it under lock and key. Here they would keep the valuable wine to have it under lock and key. To lock it with the padlock we saw earlier. Didn't they trust their servants or if children came so they couldn't access the alcohol? And all of this looks like pharmacy jars of old medicines. And over here, we already come out to the main hallway. After we finish seeing everything here, we'll go up to the first floor. I believe this was part of, how to say it, the kitchen, which is just to the right, has collapsed. We will see what little remains of it now. Look, more wine and labeled. Let's see this one that looks better. No, it can't be red. Well, I suppose it would put the year and the type of grape it was made with. And this is silver, almost sure. Look how everything has rusted, except for the spoons, which have a lot of humidity, but they have not rusted.
Look at this here.
With the little glasses all set up and everything.
Idiot.
They might serve breakfast here. Would the service be the one to eat? Here you have to look for one of those prayer chairs, which I can't remember the name of right now. And it's recorded. How cool. Look at the door that I opened here in the kitchen frame, which ended up falling because look at the floor. We can't get much closer, obviously. There, look that they are here. I am right on the edge. All the chalks are hanging there on the wall. This part was likely where they cooked. Now we will ascend. Strangely, this castle differs from others I visited in France. Is that I haven't found the service stairs. Because the people who worked in the castle didn't go up these stairs. They had other stairs, much smaller and narrower. But in this castle I haven't found them. And we can't go here because, look. The floor has collapsed. It's already quite deteriorated. But due to the passage of time, which is cool, that it was the passage of time and not people, and here the quarters begin, which, like a good castle, had dozens of them. They still have the beds, the mattresses. And here a different type of paper on the walls. Okay, there were two rooms here, and the particularity of these two rooms that we have here is that the first one was here. Then you would go through there, and there's another room, but what if the one from the other room didn't want to go through this room? Well, he had this door that led him right to the final room, so he wouldn't have to go through this one here. And look at the size of the fireplace he had in the room. Incredible, and the bed is beautiful, with huge headboards. What I don't understand is why there is so many chairs in the room, as if they surrounded the bed. Even one next to the bed. 1906, wow. Oh, such cool illustrations. And old photographs. Look, the tapestry, eh? From the headboard of the bed. Does seeing a large fireplace significantly impact the room's ambience? And this is the room I was telling you about, that they should go through the hallway if they didn't want to go through the first room. Look at this beautiful bed. And with the pattern on the walls? There was a second bed there too, and the fireplace is the same. They made the same fireplace. Surely here in the past, he had all his things well placed. A small desk to get organized. Let's see if from here I can show you something from outside, although I don't think you can see much. Look. All the trees there are his property, and the back part as well. It's a lot of land, the one that surrounds the castle. Here, bedding. The illustrious Franz Ole, 1884, Mother. I don't want to open it because it's cardboard and the pages are going to break. How cool. And this one here is the hallway I was telling you about, to avoid going through the room. But let's go in here first. There are rats. Full on. It smells a lot to me. They would already be leaving through the fourth here, so as not to disturb in the other room. Let's go. To see another one of the rooms. And this, more than another bed, it looks like a divan. Look, I love this room because it has the bed like embedded in that nook. Very cool. Hey, they used to open some curtains here. And they would open curtains, covering the bed. Is of things. Yes, this would be one of the bathrooms, but it's full of junk, you can't even open it. Look at how the vegetation has grown around the castle. This whole trunk is full of bed linen, sheets, and so on. Music, sheet music. Look, it seems that he studied music. He probably liked the music and he permitted himself to study it, likely because he didn't require an education. Living in a castle like this, we understand that they are very wealthy people. The voices we hear in the background are those of other explorers who came to visit the place. The rooms connected to each other via doors. Here's another one. Of course, with its fireplace, this one a little smaller but beautiful. Made of steel. The whole house is full of sheet music. Here's another one. And with the chamber pot at the foot of the bed. And this looks like a lamp where they would put a candle inside. Look here, another chamber pot, wow.
Look at that one.
How huge, and this one also with a bunch of chairs around. Look at this one. Beautiful, and this marble fireplace. This room is really cool. Advertising contract. I love these old illustrations, 1800, 79. And here are more jars of medicine. How thick the bed was. And here more drugs. We have seen in 2 beds next to the bed, drugs, let's go medicines. Let's look at that sofa. Upholstered in beautiful red. And more scores, it's full of scores. And here are more of these little bottles of medications. And everything rotten from the humidity in this part. Here, I imagine, yes, look at the bathroom. You can't go far. I suppose the toilet will be here on the left. And look right there, they have like a hand sponge for showering. This room is beautiful. Much more stately than the others, and now we continue to the last one. Floor. Look at the skylight they had in the staircase. And here everything is a bit more mixed up. (1925). There are a lot of newspapers. What a cool room. Probably the part up here, in these rooms here, would be where the service people, the ones in charge of the house, slept. Look at the bed. How small it is. And the ceilings are much lower than those of below. Look, that he probably had to shower here in his room so as not to use the bathrooms of the castle owners. And with a ladle there. To fetch water. And another urinal. Without looking at me. Let's see. Well, they have a bathroom here. Oh, this is one of the towers. But it's in terrible condition. Look at the floor. Remember the cutlery from earlier? If you look at them now, they have completely rusted. And there they had a huge coat rack to hang a lot of jackets. I think the pot up here was the first to become disused, so to speak. Because in recent years, probably very few people ended up living in the castle. And they did without the caretakers or the people who worked in the castle. To fix things in the castle, to make food, clean the castle and all that. But a lot of people lived here back in the day. And look, they had a small library, or bookstore, sorry. Although it seems that the furniture is much more modern than the rest of the castle. Ah, look at that. They tried to renovate the top part. In fact, they did a bit of renovation. They did a bit of renovation and would do the library. Look at one like the one before. The illustrious Franz. Ah, I thought it was a chapel. I've seen it like this. It looked like a chapel. But the room is still very cool. And again, a lot of coat racks, and here too. Here is another small room, a sewing machine and everything. Look, can you tell that here, as I said before, lived those who took care of the castle? Super tiny with just the bare essentials? What? How beautiful. Ah, it's not a singer. I thought it was a singer. It doesn't show a brand here. I guess they would be threads. It's empty. I guess they would be threads and stuff like that. And here, he would have his little space to read and have some leisure time. Well, this room is really cool. Look, it's not on the scale of the ones below, nor does it have such high ceilings, but it's much better than the others we just saw. And with a crib and everything. A crib, and then they moved him to that little bed. Keep in mind that in the castle era, if the lord so to speak, wanted to have a lover, he could have one. Of course, his wife would probably let him have her, but not downstairs. She would be upstairs. Perhaps one of the employees got pregnant and they prepared this room for her to stay with the child.
Because the
bed is very small for a couple to be there, so I imagine it was just the woman with her son, with her daughter. Did they have something called an oratory? I'm not certain. Look how cool with the cross carved there. And with some initials? They were probably the family's initials. And this bed is also very cool. Made of wrought iron. And look what we have over here. They are cartridges, but they are unfilled cartridges. These are the ones they had to fill themselves. Is that why he still has this here? Haven't they used it? And the crib is beautiful, also made of wrought iron and braided. And to put some kind of toy here for the child. Well, and we're going to finish the video in this room because it's the last one left to see in the whole castle. It's a beautiful place. So we're going to finish by showing a bit of the outside, and I hope you liked the video. And if so, give it a like and see you in the next video. Until next time.